Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heckin Tech Night. I don't have anything funny planned this time. I'm just gonna strobe light the camera.
That's oh no, epilepsy. Ah,
All right, and we got a lot of Heckin Tech to tell you, especially since I just realized today that we haven't streamed in a month. But this is
wait,
normal
what?
for Heckin Tech Night. Yeah, we haven't done this in nearly a month.
I thought it's been 3 weeks.
Today's the 16th. We last streamed on April 17th.
Where are the days gone?
I have no clue. I'm scared. I
legit
have.
thought it was 3 weeks.
I thought it was too, so that's why I was like, "Oh, it's not that bad." And I'm like, "Oh God, we
to be
don't
fair,
exist."
the 2 weeks before there really wasn't anything too exciting. The past two
Yeah,
weeks have been a little bit more exciting.
I
So
think kind of like with our schedule and what we're going to do is that I feel like we're just gonna aim for bi-weekly, but if that doesn't happen, oh well. But we're just
well,
gonna at least make
basically,
an effort to do it, you know?
just stream whenever things are interesting. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
week of
yeah.
CES or something, I guarantee we'll probably if
Mhm.
we can stream the week of CES, we're going to be streaming.
Well, I
So,
mean,
something like that.
even if this was gonna be a month gap for our show or not,
Hmm.
we actually have quite a bit today of just more interesting things, especially last time around. And it's kind of exciting. And here's the crazy part, right?
Oh no.
Nick, pictured here on your
Hmm.
screen for you to see, sent me in some news stories.
Um, one,
He
two.
didn't send me any news stories for the last one.
What's higher than two? Three? It's
I think
getting
it's
kind of up there
five. I
now.
think it's five.
What? What's what's before five? Four? I don't think I've ever sent anything in that high before. Like this is a first in Heckin Tech Night history.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Nasina
seven.
says seven.
Hey, I can do seven.
Yeah,
I know
you know
seven.
what? That is true. Okay, so
No.
we are gonna go to our first story, and I'm gonna double make sure I hit the right button this time. Um, Netflix, everybody's favorite thing that does shows. Um, they're gonna shut down their original DVD service that kind of put them on the map in the first place after 25 years. Not really much to comment on
Yeah.
it, but damn. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
real, I wasn't even sure that I didn't even know that it was still happening. That this
Yeah,
was
I had no idea.
but hey, that's cool. I never rented DVDs through Netflix. We never had it, and literally my mom got it when I was 16. We were really late. As far as I remember.
I remember doing it when we were younger, but we would only rent the DVDs when they had those like special deals. We would rent like three or four, and they were like $1 a piece.
Yeah,
And you'd
how
rent them
how
for
did it
like
work?
you essentially like ordered them online, and then they went by shipment date of how long you had it. So they would ship it to your house. They would know when it arrived because it was tracked, and then they would you would have like 7 days for the certain amount of money, or 5 days or something like that. And then if you went over that, you were charged per day. And then you would just
Gotcha.
there was drop boxes. You would just go. You'd um I think you would there would be like a card code or something on it, and then you when you dropped it off, it would just collect it. Or am I thinking of something
Gotcha,
else?
gotcha. Maybe you're
It
thinking of
was
the
something
red
like
box things. I don't know. It
I
sounds
might be
very.
thinking of that too.
It's
I know
okay.
we
It's
did the
it's
Netflix
the
stuff.
same thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well,
Heck and
Redbox
Tech
still
Night, we
exists.
always get all of our facts right, and we always talk about the most timely news. We're not going to talk about how this article, and you can clearly see, was written a month ago. We're gonna pretend that's not the case.
That is exactly after our first tech show
What are you
back.
talking about? We're not bringing you old news. There is no old news. It's all news here at Heck and Tech Night.
Yep. Yesterday's news today. That is our slogan.
No, it's last week's news today. How many times do I have to tell you not to mess And we're back. And now we're going to go to our next news story. I think we're going to just because usually what happens is we usually have a bunch of our small stories and then we get sidetracked and we go to our bigger ones.
Yeah,
Like,
let's
I
try to
have a
make it a
feeling
little
I'm
bit
just
more
going to
organized.
I'm just going to get all the small stories out of the way first. Screw it. Because
Sure.
I wasn't necessarily I do like sprinkling in smaller stories, but I feel like it just doesn't work as well. I don't know. Well, and our next one that we have here is that another real short one here. Apple brings Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro to iPad, which is wow. Okay.
That's cool.
I mean, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I don't know why this wasn't already a thing, but the fact that it's here, W. Like I've always thought okay, if I were to get a tablet, it would be an iPad, and it's that's definitely the truth here too, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, Apple's always kind of well, originally they didn't want the iPad or even the iPad Pro to kind of compete with their laptops, and I mean the software is basically the entire difference because they basically have the same chips now, the same amount of RAM.
Well, the thing
I
is
mean
too
all
is
the
that
stuff is basically the same.
I've never understood the whole competing with their own products thing, cuz I've always seen that the people who are going for iPads either already have a MacBook, are going to have a
Mhm.
MacBook, or I feel like they're different. They're just different user bases, so they don't really overlap that much. And if they do, they're gonna have
It's
both anyway.
yeah, it's Apple. They're trying to force you to buy their entire ecosystem if you get into it. So that's just the way it works. If you get into it, they're like
It's
trying to
definitely cool to
consume
have
your whole life.
Logic on the iPad though, because besides that, what did you really have? You had freaking BandLab, maybe GarageBand. There is FL
Yeah.
Studio Mobile, but I don't know. I'm excited, and I know there's been some pretty good video editors for iPad. There's been LumaFusion, and I know there's other programs that people use, but I don't know. I just think it's cool, and yet another reason why I'm hey, iPad.
Yeah. iPads are pretty cool, especially iPad Pros. They
Oh yeah,
definitely have
definitely.
durability issues, but I
Just
mean,
don't snap it in half. You'll be okay.
the issue is it only takes like 2 pounds of force to snap it in half. So
What are you talking about? It's fine.
it's fine. Just don't lean against your iPad.
Why are you putting it in your backpack anyway? I'd be nervous. I just gotta carry it everywhere, just like this. This is how I'm gonna carry my iPad.
You strap it to a a piece of plywood to make sure it doesn't bend when you're transporting it.
You just put it up against a giant piece of wood, and you're just like this. And you have a
Just
little cam.
carrying it
You have
around.
a little hole in the wood for the camera.
That's your case.
Yeah, yeah. Who needs a case?
It seems
Uh,
viable.
okay. So let me get another. All right. So we have two sort of audio related stories in our small stories, and then we have two vaguely Google related ones. Which ones do you want to go with? What do you
Oh, I
want to
like
do?
the audio. We got to start with the audio ones.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Because
I like. I
we
mean,
actually don't like audio. We're actually
we're
lying.
wearing. We're both wearing some of our favorite headphones, so I mean,
Yeah, I hate audio. I think it's terrible. Why would I even spend this much money on a headphone?
well, I'm looking at your mic.
Why would anyone spend money on why would anybody spend money on
Pulls out another mic.
Okay, it landed on my bed.
Okay, good. You
All
don't want to
right.
drop that.
So, I almost clicked on the Google story and just completely like
It's just
disregarded what you were saying.
it's like, okay, we're doing Google.
All right, so this is something that's really cool. You have the world's first solid state speakers. And I think this is really, really exciting. Especially for things like portable audio and like earbuds, which are already kind of having like a market explosion at the moment. And just good for the low price. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this could just like revolutionize like just smaller audio like that, at least in the consumer space.
The thing I'm curious about is their power usage in relation to dynamic drivers and
Because
ballast amateurs.
like they're saying like, oh yeah,
Armatures.
the speakers are 40% smaller and 90% lighter, no moving parts, far more durable, and I'm like, okay, like I'm hoping they're more power efficient because that would be like the big thing. Because like imagine
Hmm.
if you had like your Bluetooth low energy codecs and then you had like these drivers, you'd be having like an earbud that lasts like multiple days without needing to go in its charging case.
And that would make the batteries last longer too.
Yeah,
Because,
definitely, because
I mean,
you're not like
we're not
draining
wearing
it
them
so fast.
down. Yep, exactly. And that kind of transitions a little bit into our next story about how audio is a little bit with earbuds wearing down over time, right?
Yeah, and like when you're talking about like earbuds like wearing down over time and stuff, it's kind of like, and we're gonna have like a medium length story, kind of like talking about this. Um,
We could
but
transition over to it now,
eh,
just to
I'm
smooth
gonna
smooth it.
I'm gonna wait a little bit because
Oh,
I want to get our next small story in, and then just like then we go into it. But
okay.
like essentially like with this driver here, it was saying like, hey, it's a micro electrical mechanical system, uses like some sort of tech that like converts like electrical inputs pulses into mechanical movement, and it's like, yeah, so it's just
It
really
sounds
small
like
and it
it.
makes noise.
It sounds like it could be the same type of eventual revolution that happened with incandescents into LEDs, or the same type of thing, to where he figured out that silicon is able to not only be used for, I mean, just using electrical circuits. They were able to emit light using LEDs.
Yeah,
So now we're starting to go into the way that we're able to figure out how to produce mechanical advantages and different types of movements using that silicon. And maybe it's going to be much more efficient and follow the same path of LEDs, to where initially they only have some very limited use. They're very expensive. They're hard to use. They're hard to manufacture. But look at LEDs now. They're literally everywhere, and they're the cheapest thing you can possibly find. So
yeah,
maybe that's going
definitely.
to go the same way with these types of speakers.
I think that'd be really interesting. And I would say, like, obviously, like, higher end stuff is not, like, necessarily in danger because you're always going to have, like, someone boutique, like, still using dynamic drivers or, like, a planar magnetic or something. But, like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised that if this ends up being as good as people are hoping, um, you know, that, like, it kind of, like, ends up being more of a little mixture. Like, it just depends on how cheap these are, honestly. Because like
exactly.
they say they're cheaper, but like it's just anything that's new. You know what I mean? You gotta see. Also,
It's there's a big difference between manufacturing 100 of them and manufacturing 10,000 of them.
yeah, just because
So,
you gotta have like the factory infrastructure and stuff.
exactly.
Um, also like as like another random note, I know we're getting a little sidetracked, and maybe we'll talk about this next episode. But like apparently Google released their Pixel Fold.
What?
Yeah. And like
Why
I
did I
didn't
have?
know anything about this. I was like,
I
this
did.
is out? This is a thing?
I didn't even see this on like any of the tech stories I looked at. Where did
Well,
it come from?
you know what? We're not doing gaming news right now, but I'm going to play the thing anyway because we're not going to be able to for the rest of this episode. See. Look, it's gaming. It's a phone. It you can play games on it.
You can play game
Okay, so
Clash
this
of
is
Clans.
so like this is gonna be obviously our first look at it. And I guess here we go. The Heckin Tech Night reaction. We're a reaction channel now.
Oh, we're a reaction channel now. Easy
Okay,
content. Here we
so
go.
it's $1,900. Makes sense if
Ooh,
you're complaining if you're comparing it to like the Google, not the Google,
the
the
Samsung Fold,
Samsung one, that one,
Fold 2, Fold 3, whatever they're at now.
Fold
One of
7.
those. What?
Okay, so it's saying wider front screen. They're liking the form factor, and I can see through this picture. Like it looks more like normal phone width, which like the Fold like 3, 4, 7 like doesn't have. Like
Yeah,
it's more of like a thinner phone.
it looks like a hot dog, though.
Um,
This looks like a hamburger.
Says doesn't skip on cameras, unfolds to a mini tablet. They're saying like, oh, there's a huge bezel around the tablet screen. I guess we'll take a look at it. Okay. Okay, so they are up to Z Fold 4.
What?
I
No.
guess
What?
I don't know. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
so this is what it looks like it's unfolded. I hope this is like the full screen. Because if so, that's cool.
Also, it's a 3 screen.
It's one and then one on the inside.
Is it connected together on the inside,
It's
or is
like
it separate?
Samsung's. It's a folding phone. It's got the foldable
But
OLED.
oh, so it's the actual foldable OLED. They aren't
Yeah,
separate.
yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. We have an image now. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I can see what they mean about the bezel.
It does look like we're stepping back a couple years,
But at least there aren't
but
any like annoying notches. But then again, like if I'm paying $2,000 to like open up my phone, this is a little bit much. But it's weird because it kind of has the same like little like bezel like little like support structure thing that like the Duo has. Do you see this little section here?
oh yeah, you're right.
Maybe they're doing it for durability purposes. I don't know. Like this isn't bad.
I mean, as long as stuff can't get caught in there, right? I mean, if dust starts
Oh, they
building up in
unveiled it
there.
when they were talking about the Pixel 7a during Google I/O. This is May 10th.
Okay.
Also, I guess there's a Pixel 7a now.
I think I did hear about that one existing.
Wow, we're so
That's
behind.
that is all I know.
See, this is what happens when we're not covering last week's news. We get dumbfounded and we're like, what the hell is this?
I know.
Okay.
Eh,
It
I
doesn't
really like the
fold
way that looks.
completely. It doesn't fold completely flat. This is a lot thinner than what I was thinking it was going to be. That's a little nerve-wracking. That makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
We were talking about the iPad snapping in half. Look at this thing.
And they say it's 20 grams heavier than the Z Fold 4.
Okay.
How heavy is the phone then? At 283
83 grams,
grams?
so like just over half a pound.
Eh,
Or just about.
that's that's a little bit of a brick.
No, it isn't. I don't know. One of those numbers. It's over half a pound. Oh, there's a picture of the outside screen. I'm not a huge fan of like these overly rounded corners. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing that I've just never really enjoyed on screens. It's just like where the
Yeah.
screen kind of gets rounded off. Like, I mean, I have my Sony Xperia, and it's just like there is the slightest bit of rounding, but like it's mostly a square,
It's just
a really
square.
long
Yeah.
square.
Meanwhile, iPhone is just round,
Yeah.
just ridiculously round.
Okay. I'm looking at the resolution. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I think this picture kind of does it better justice. I think this looks better than like the other image. Like I could get used to this.
Hmm.
Kind of has like more of a utilitarian look to it. You know?
It almost, to me, it almost looks like something Microsoft would make instead of
It really
Google.
does. It really does look like a Microsoft like not duo.
I know it doesn't. It's weird.
It
It really
is. It
does look like
is.
something Microsoft would make.
Apparently there's 5x zoom with the telephoto. Okay, that's cool.
48 megapixel.
There is a selfie camera here, and then also selfie camera on the inside. I'm not expecting something super crazy. You can obviously do like a freaking like selfie with the rear camera this way, but I mean that's cool.
Yeah, get better quality selfie.
Okay. So wait a minute. Are they? Oh wow, Google's using their own chips? Did I not know this? Are they? Is this a new thing?
It must be.
I guess Google's doing their own chips. Well, dang. They really are the Apple of Android.
Apparently.
Okay. Oh, this is a good spec sheet here. Okay, so it looks mostly comparable. It has a slightly bigger battery, which is something that you definitely need with a foldable since you are powering more screen. Yeah, I don't know. This looks pretty promising. Let me click on the link for the Pixel 7a. Let's take a look at that real quick. I know we're getting like sidetracked from our plan, but it is tech, so
Yeah, we're still talking about tech.
yeah, definitely. So, um, where the heck did that link go? I saw it somewhere. Because like I used to be like looking into phones like far more when I was like when we were doing the show initially, and I just kind of stopped looking at phones.
Yeah, it's you used to pay attention to the phone market, how things reacted. You did all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. But maybe this is when I get back into it. Maybe this is when I start looking at the pixels, and especially our bigger story of the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V.
Oh
So
yeah.
okay, so here's the Pixel 7a. I'm not here to look at the review because we don't have the phone in our hands. I mean, okay, so it starts at $599, or not $599, $499. I can't read. 128 gigs of storage. This looks kind of chunky,
It
but
is thick, isn't it?
it is
Yeah.
a little chunky.
Maybe it has a good battery life then?
It has a 90 hertz refresh rate. That's cool. Um, has the good cameras. I want a spec sheet. Where is a spec sheet? I don't care about these ratings. Okay, yeah, this is in comparison to other phones here too, where they got the it up to the Samsung's mid range here, and then you got the Apple iPhone 12.
Oh, okay.
Wha That's not the iPhone 12. Wait, what?
What?
And we're back. We're gonna get a little bit more back on track, and we're gonna talk about our original other story. We're gonna talk about audio here real quick. And this is actually really interesting, and I'm excited. Um, Bluetooth bandwidth is set to double, which really, for me, I'm really excited for the chance of CD quality lossless over Bluetooth. Because, like, with LDAC, we are close, but not quite. Because, like, with LDAC, like, you have, like, at its highest, you have, like, 900 kilobits per second, like, data
It's
transfer.
yeah, it's something
And
like that.
with freaking, like, that's almost like a CD quality FLAC, but not quite.
Hmm.
Um, But like uncompressed, like CD quality audio is like 1411 kilobits per second, or
Yep.
kilobits, one of those. And we're so close. And if this is set to double, then we might have that. And I'm excited, honestly. Um,
So what's the? Is it a new standard? Is that what it is?
let's see. Maybe he's just talking about like the next like generation of the codec.
Ah, okay. Well,
Okay.
hopefully it isn't.
Because it's saying like
Normally, Bluetooth
currently
is.
currently the only way to get loss of CD via Bluetooth is using a Qualcomm proprietary Snapdragon sound compatible thing with aptX.
Yep.
And it has to be like really reliable. Now, I don't know why you'd be trying to like do 24-bit 96K over a Bluetooth headset. Like
It's
I am a firm believer that like 24 44 1 is all you need. And like you
yeah.
don't even need the 24-bit. Like CD quality is just all you need. Like,
Yep.
because the main thing for me is just make sure your shit is lossless, and that's all that matters. But yeah, this is just really exciting, and I hope
Oh,
this.
scroll down for a second. I think I saw something interesting. A little bit up. Oh, okay. It was just talking about Wi-Fi, going from the 5 gigahertz to 2.4 gigahertz, and then Wi-Fi is going to 6 gigahertz band.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be interesting.
So, okay, I thought I saw something about Bluetooth at 6 gigahertz, and I was a bit confused.
Yeah, definitely. Now, before we get into one of our first, like just kind of like slightly bigger stories, I do want to get into some follow-ups from our last episode here. Um, I'm excited for Title being able to like roll out like high res lossless, like because like I've been like kind of following like that whole situation after like MQA kind of folded. And like
Hmm.
Title's like one of Title's like CEOs was on Reddit and was like, "Hey guys, high res lossless is coming." Like
Oh, it is?
I mean he said it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so what I'm thinking is that Title won't like, and this is like purely speculation at this point, but my guess is that Title won't necessarily like get rid of their MQA. They'll just have it as like a separate option. You know what I mean? I have a feeling that like they'll have like their high res flag, and then they'll still have the MQA as an option, so they don't have to drop all their branding and all that because they already have the entire catalog.
But the issue is if MQA as a company is gone, then there's no support for it.
It'll be fine. Don't worry
This
about
is-
it. It'll be okay.
you can't just keep an old codec that just isn't supported,
The code's
especially when it's
already there. It'll run
proprietary.
fine. Don't worry about
That's
it.
not that's not at all the way that that works.
See, that's how everything works here at Heckin Tech Night. It just kind of it'll work. It'll be fine. Like this segue into our next follow up about Montana and like the TikTok ban. We were talking about that as our main story last time around. And there's been some rumblings about how that TikTok ban that did pass is going to expand to other social media apps that, in their words, provide certain data to foreign adversaries. I'm stumbling every word today.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah.
Well,
Looks like they're still gonna be fighting this fight. They gotta be like, you know what? You're sending
can't
data. You're sending data to China. Um, illegal.
every
Bad.
single app sends data to China at this
Bad.
point.
Bad.
Bad. No, no, don't do that.
All right, here we go. Let's go to one of our longer stories here. And this was kind of like a little bit of a. And I just realized that two of our stories are kind of like half related in some way. Now,
What? We'll see.
one thing I do want to bring up, and this article brings it up rather well, and I think this is an interesting discussion point, is that with the move from like, your typical like wired earbuds, that stay good as long as you take care of them for like damn near forever, because like you don't have to worry about batteries exploding in the buds. Ever since we've gone into like our sort of like, Bluetooth like wireless era, there have since been like, the true wireless earbuds and all that. And that brings up an interesting point that that this article brings up, is that you have to like replace these earbuds like every 2 to 3 years. Like, especially with how the battery life like depletes so much. And it's like, I feel like it's just like a weird, like, just crazy, like, waste problem that we're not ready for.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that is the case for a lot of battery products. I mean, we have phones that people are throwing away on a yearly basis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're starting to have more production of electric cars. Hopefully, that stuff gets sorted out relatively soon because that's a lot of waste. And then we have the additional waste of all these earbuds. Then you have other stuff going wireless. So you have wireless cameras and things
Yeah.
like that that people are starting to use for security
Because like whenever
systems.
something is wireless, there's the question of like what's powering it, and oftentimes it's a battery, and the fact that we have like all these little batteries and everything now, like that just like reduces your lifespan for those things, just because like you're just not going to get the same amount of life as you would, you know what I mean, like if you're running it all the time. And like earbuds like this are, number one, like, they're smaller, so they can't fit as much of a capacity in there, so even if the batteries do deplete, like you're not going to have that luxury of being like, okay, like I have enough battery life because it's going to die in 2 hours, you know.
I mean, yeah, a lot of cases it's worse than that as they age. You could be down to 30 minutes. That's all
Yeah, of
you get.
course.
So I mean, the other issue is if we're being real, how often do people replace batteries on their phone or replace
Well, like, that's
batteries in
also like,
systems? People just don't do it.
well, it's also
So,
because, like, the fact that, like, especially with waterproofing and the way that, like, like phone construction has become, you know what I mean, in sort of a way, it's kind of like, you can't even, like, really replace batteries easily if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Because, like, all the backs are glued shut, and you have to, like, freaking, like, know a thing or two to take them apart without breaking something. Like, I've replaced, like, a battery on an LG V40, and like the battery was freaking glued to the frame. It was like near impossible to take off, and I was worried I was going to burn something. Like it, like, even if you like kind of know what you're doing, it's like genuinely like kind of a safety concern. And like with my AKG N400, right? These are some pretty good earbuds. They sound pretty damn good in my opinion, right? I've had them since December 2021, and I'm already starting to see like just wear and tear. And like I'm getting really annoyed with like this case in particular, just mainly because like it never like really connects to these charging pins and hear reliably anymore, and I have to like try like 3 different times to tell the phone like, hey, stop sending Bluetooth to these things. They are
Oh,
disconnected. So like it's legitimately frustrating, which sucks because these earbuds sound pretty damn good. They're the best true wireless set I've heard. But it's just like, I just dropped it on the ground. I don't want to have to like deal with that, you know what I mean? And like even like I feel like I take moderately good care of those earbuds besides like, oh, Zach was saying I had to remove battery from a MacBook once to replace a keyboard. It took me multiple days and the battery ended up damaged. Yeah, like even if you like kind of know a thing or two, you can't like go in there real easily and just be like, yeah, we'll just pop it in and pop it out. Cause like, here, let me go to Nick real quick. I'm gonna bring out a
I.
prop.
Oh no. But I mean, there's several times to where I went to replace laptop batteries, like Nasina was saying, and I mean, you just go and you try to rip the thing out, and it ends up being glued in, or there's screws that go in from different angles that aren't accessible because they're glued down, and it's, I mean, a lot of anti-repairability stuff is going on, and there's companies that are starting to fix that,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, but unfortunately,
It's
people
still
just
the
don't want to buy those
overlying problem.
products.
And like you can't really do that with an earbud that easily, even if you wanted
Yeah.
to. Like, because like, with an old phone, like what we were talking about earlier, you can literally just pop the back off, right? And then bam, there's your battery. Replace it, put it back in, snap it back on, power it on, bam. Like
Yep.
you cannot do that anymore. And that was
Well, it
that
was the
was one of
big
the
push
last phones
for.
to do it. It was like in 2015 when that phone came out. Like this phone can't. No way in hell I can do that.
Well, the big push for things being waterproof is kind of what went away with that. There's
Mm.
so many phones and devices that people were like, "Oh, I want it to be waterproof," but it's like, has there's a lot of people that have never even got their phone wet. Like,
Yeah,
you
like
don't
for me,
need
like
everything.
my phone is waterproof, and like best believe I'm a use it. Like not it's not like I'm dunking it into water every day, but like if I get like a splash on it or like I drop it in a puddle, I'm not going to be worrying about like years of files, like
Yeah,
I can just like be like, oh, I'll just wipe it off. Like heck,
exactly.
there's even been like sometimes where I've like done some gags where I just like I put the camera like under like a water sink head and just drench the camera just because I can.
Hmm.
Don't recommend that, by the way, because what if your water protection sucks? But I trust this thing well enough. Like this phone was expensive enough, it better survive that. Because it's not like I'm spraying it at a high velocity. It's just gravity doing its thing.
I mean, heck, the last time I visited you, you put your phone in a river.
Oh yeah, yeah. I put my phone in a river. It was pretty fun, and it was just fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Now, yeah, and that just kind of like goes into our next like sort of like medium length story, which I get to rant about a different thing now. Um, that as of late, say like the past 6, 7 years, and especially since the COVID pandemic, right? Schools around the country have bought millions and millions of cheap freaking Chromebooks. And like, obviously, when you give technology to thousands and thousands of kids are going to find ways to break them, obviously. But like, even if they don't, like, these cheap like devices don't stand up to like long-term use because they're cheap. They don't last very long. And it's just like I just wanted an excuse to rant about Chromebooks and how much they suck. I hate Chromebooks. They're stupid and bad. But um but the U.S. Public Interest Research Group Education Fund has found that cheap Chromebooks, due to their short lifespans and lack of repairability, are both less sustainable and more expensive for schools than pricier devices might be. And like also it's just like, when it comes to these like laptops and like these Chromebooks, it's not like, schools necessarily have the money to get better, more long lasting devices. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like it kind of sucks because like especially with COVID skyrocketing, like the use of technology in school and just the fact that you have classes and homework online, which was starting to become a thing when like you and I graduated, but like it like went into full force mode once like COVID hit, and I like unfortunately like a lot of people were not prepared. So it's just kind of saying like this is just a really interesting look into how like everybody in school has a Chromebook now and they still suck. And again, like another piece of tech that isn't going to last long and go straight to a waste bin.
Exactly. Yep.
So yeah. Now I will say as kind of like a plus with Chromebook, since it's primarily like sort of like Android based, like it's going to be easy to use. And that's good for like kids who are just trying to learn, especially younger ones. But like, just get them Windows. It'll be fine. Just get them
Well,
Windows.
there's student version of Windows that would be perfect. So,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
will admit Windows is more expensive, unfortunately, but it's just like,
well, for the actual school itself, the Windows version, the student version is free
mm-hmm,
because the government, well, depending on the state covers the costs. So, a lot of money goes into Microsoft directly for funding that stuff. And I mean, they
mm-hmm.
go for community colleges. I don't see why it couldn't be extended to grade schools.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
At least for like high schools and stuff like that.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna go to intermission for a little bit, but we'll be right back with more Heckin Tech Night in just a moment. We're
Right
just gonna
back.
stare into the camera for the next 10 seconds, and then I'll hit the button.
How are you holding a straight face?
I'm
Are you
not.
actually counting to 10?
I'm not. I
Oh.
don't know. All right, and we're back from our intermission. Nick is going to join us on the screen now,
Yep.
and we're going to go to one of his stories. It's going to be about nuclear power, because Heckin Tech Night, we're very nuclear friendly. We like nuclear power here,
We
and there are
love
definitely
talking about energy.
yes, it's pretty cool energy, something that I desperately need right now. So Nick provided the story here. I've not taken a look at this. It's what the U.S. needs for future nuclear power tech to get off the ground.
Yeah, so I did a quick read through on this one, but I just really cared about the title because I wanted to talk a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of interesting technologies going on to where people are talking about doing all these different thorium reactors or different types of uranium reactors, molten salt reactors, breeding reactors. Well, that's kind of the same as a thorium reactor, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of interesting stuff that people are talking about. But another thing is people are also talking about small modular reactors, and
Mm-hmm.
small modular reactors are very interesting. A lot of people really don't really think about it this way, but a lot of cases, the multi-billion dollar carriers that the US is building and are the submarines that we're building,
Mm-hmm.
those are kind of preliminary small modular reactors.
Yeah.
So if you can take some of this information that the US government has been creating these giant data banks of all this information over the years and all these different types of things,
Mm-hmm.
we can almost just take this information and start applying it to the commercial industry relatively soon because we have a lot of research into it already. It's mostly just getting
Yeah.
through the regulatory side of things.
Especially
But this
since
are
like there's such like a panic sphere whenever you say the nuclear word. Because like
yeah.
for obviously for good reason, because like I will say, like, people are not like very well educated, and the only thing they get educated about are things blowing up and being scary and spooky. um and like, yeah, sure, but like nuclear power is actually pretty safe.
Oh, it's actually the safest energy per megawatt produced.
Yeah,
So if
definitely.
you look at the energy produced by nuclear power in terms of megawatts,
Hmm.
so if you look at deaths per megawatt, nuclear power has the lowest. And if you look at like coal or oil,
Yeah.
it's like 100, I think it's around 100 or 1,000 times greater death rate for every single
Yeah, because like
megawatt
with oil,
produced.
you gotta like refine it, and a lot of refineries are just kind of just outright like dangerous, just because like you're dealing with like flammable gases that could just like go boom. The
Exactly.
same sort of boom you're worrying about with nuclear. You just don't have to worry about radiation. But like another concern that does like it that kind of like poses like a big like sort of like health detractor is just freaking freaking pollution with like oil and like natural gas and stuff. Like if you're like burning oil up there, you're just gonna like make the air quality worse, accelerate climate change, you know what I mean? And that, like, you don't have to worry about that kind of like pollution thing with nuclear, because like you just like you just have like a really fancy just water kettle.
Yeah,
You're just making
exactly.
steam. That's all you're doing.
You just take a giant bunch of uranium, put it inside rods, and you're basically just making energy, transferring it to water.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
just
you
heat
do.
up water really fast and really hot.
It's actually probably not as hot as you would expect,
I
but
should try and make coffee with it. Just take some of that water, pour it in the kettle. It'll be fine.
I mean, it would be really good to
Nice
probably
little.
use for like like frappuccinos or whatever they're called, the ones that you put steam inside of,
No, that's
because you're
not. No,
using.
that's not a frappuccino. What Starbucks do you go to?
Apparently the wrong one.
Yeah, you have like a nuclear frappuccino. Let me put it in the freaking blender real quick.
Using 900-degree Fahrenheit steam, just frying the beans.
Yeah, yeah, and Doctor brings up a good point in the chat too, because it's like you know how often like you hear about like yeah, it's spice the coffee, like you know how often you hear about oil refineries compared to like any nuclear scare. Like odds are like an oil refinery like thing or just an oil like incident is just frankly more common.
And the big thing is, if I'm being honest, at almost every single nuclear site, there always tends to be some sort of media that
Mm-hmm.
no matter what happens, if anything gets public, because they tend to be a lot more secure on the information that happens inside a nuclear site, obviously due to the new government regulations and security. But um, if you have those people, like if the media gets a hold of any of the news stories, no matter what it is, oh, they someone tripped and fell and they hurt themselves. It just something as stupid as that.
And that's how you know nuclear power is unsafe. I tripped and fell at the nuclear power plant. Now we must outlaw everything.
Exactly. It really is like that. People just want to be against it. But meanwhile, you have these oil refineries and you have people doing confined space entries and
Yeah.
oh, they forgot to tag out the tank, by the way, so all the valves are open at any point. There could be benzene flying inside the tank.
Yeah, and like the thing is too, and this is kind of a problem like for just power plants in general, is just aging infrastructure. You know what I mean? Just like
Oh
things
yes.
are old, buildings are old, and like obviously it's going to be more of a problem especially for like oil refineries and stuff too. Like, you know what I mean? Like I used to know someone who used to work at like a oil refinery, and like he was saying like some of this stuff is like 100 years old.
Hmm.
And it's like, of course, like when you're trying to like keep producing, keep producing, keep producing, you can't like stop and like replace things really that easily. And even if you do, it's going to be expensive, and no company wants to like spend that. So like you're
No, it is
running on like
expensive.
super aged equipment that's like essentially like running on life support because they don't want to fix it. And then like you have all these things just like going wrong, you know?
Exactly. Yep.
I mean,
And
that's
that's
just kind of
happening
like
in every industry.
a problem with infrastructure in general, especially in the United States. But you know,
Yep.
nuclear power is cool. I
It's
like it
cool. Let's hope that they can replace current infrastructure with something that's a little bit more promising and it's going to
because, like,
be able to last longer.
yeah, it's cheaper to let it explode first in the oil industry. You are correct.
Oh,
You know, because like obviously, like you know, the workers who work there in the company's eyes are just more numbers, I guess.
very
But
sad, but probably true.
like, I don't know, with like nuclear power and stuff, like especially if we want to have a true like actual plan for switching to green, like more like just like efficient ways of generating like power, like nuclear has to be a part of that conversation. Because like I'm all for like you know wind power, solar power, and other like renewable forms, but like you kind of also have to have like a high just like base load of power to like support all of your cities and all of like the people who live. And like a good way to get a lot of power with not a lot of material, you know what I mean, in a clean fashion, the best way to do that is nuclear, just straight
There
up.
technically there is a way, like Europe is going the direction to get rid of a base load power grid. So there is no base load system and it's just fully variable power system.
Mm-hmm.
But there is I'm not going to try to go too deep into this without getting all sciency, but there's this thing called inertia on a power grid, and
Mm-hmm.
it's essentially how many pounds of spinning objects you have on a grid. The
Yeah.
more things, the you want a giant object spinning at a lot of speed, so whenever you have a large power draw, that object is able to continue spinning at the same speed and continue providing the required voltage and frequency across the grid.
Yeah.
One, solar has no inertia. There
Mm.
is no inertia to solar. So if you drop any amount of high load across it, you will drop your frequency and voltage across the entire grid to basically zero.
Yeah.
Wind does have some inertia, but it doesn't keep frequency when you put a high load on it.
Hmm.
So there's a massive draw there. So, sir, if you had unlimited energy across both of those, um, in theory you could do it, but you better not hope no one turns on their AC unit. That if
Yeah.
three people kick on their AC unit at the same time, oh no, you brought down the grid.
Dang it, not again.
Not again.
But
So
yeah, nuclear power. Now, we're talking about nuclear power. You know, it's a pretty nuclear subject, but you know what makes me nuclear? Windows 10 updates.
oh no, we're
That's
finally
gonna be
getting
the
to
best segue I've ever done.
definitely up there, yeah.
So, Windows 10, the amazing OS that was supposed to be the last version of Windows. As you can see, that's no longer the fucking case. I'm not gonna stop talking about this. This was supposed to be the last one. Why does
I
Windows
love
11 exist?
I know. I love when Windows 11 came out and they're just like, well, it's a different UI. And then they went, "Oh,
By the
it's
way,
gonna
you have
have
to
more
pay for
features."
it. Like it should be
Oh,
free for more than like a year.
remember when Windows 10 was a free update, like from all versions of previous Windows?
Yes.
Because they said this was the last version of Windows, and they wanted to put everyone on it, and then they just
Yeah.
went, "Nah, nah."
So the yearly feature updates, the last one is basically done, and it's going to get security updates until mid-October 2025, which for me, considering how many people are freaking using Windows 10, is dumb and stupid and bad.
It has to be pushed back. It's gonna be like Windows XP. It has to be. Windows 10 is the most used operating system by Windows, besides like I think it was probably XP. I think
Yeah.
XP is the only one that's ever been used more.
I know 7 was big, but like Windows 10 is like just universal. Like there's going to
Yeah,
be
it's
things
everywhere.
using that OS everywhere. Like I've seen like maybe
And
a
it's
few people have Windows 11 and that's because they bought a new PC that already had it. Like nobody's going
yeah.
out and getting fucking Windows 11.
No. It only comes you only get it if it comes with Windows 11. That is it. I
Like
refuse to go to Windows 11.
I
That's
don't
the
know,
only
man.
first
When
operating system I haven't updated to after 1 year of it coming out ever.
yeah, and it's like Windows 11 just looks dumb and bad. I don't like it.
Hell, I jumped on Windows 8.0 when that came out.
8.1 was great. 8.0 was not.
8.0 was the worst operating system I've ever experienced in my life. So,
Like the moment
it
that
was bad.
Windows 8.1 come out, it just had you like this. You're like you had to update your freaking OS right now. And that's just what it is.
It might have been that many pixels too.
But yeah, I'm like Windows, come on. Like this is supposed to be the last one. I don't want to have to deal with that.
If they're gonna make me update my OS, can they just stop showing me ads in the operating system 24/7 then?
Yeah, like
Like
bro.
I'm paying for it, and then you're like, oh, by the way, here's 1,000 ads,
You
and
can
you
you
have
could
to
you c-
manually go in and disable them all. Good luck. We don't know where they are.
you
The
did
options
pay for
are free.
Windows, but you could be paying for more. You don't want to miss out.
Yeah, but there is no option to pay for no ads.
You could be missing out.
Oh no.
Windows.
I guess I am a little lucky in that I do have the enterprise version of Windows, so it is technically possible for me to disable every single thing that involves ads, which I almost did, But in order to get rid of the last ones, you have to go into the Windows registry.
Everybody's
Thank you,
preferred
Windows.
method of using their OS, going into the registry. Well, if I wanted to do that, I would have downloaded Linux. Next story.
That's so true.
All right, before we get into one more medium story and our main stories for tonight, we're going to talk about two small stories just relating to Google. One good, one kind of funny. So Google Authenticator is an app that I use and many other people do for like two-factor authentication through websites. And just like they fix their most annoying flaw, which like normally with this, right? It would go to your device that generates the codes, and in order to like, you have to like physically move it to another phone. You know what I mean? Through Authenticator, you couldn't just like download it. Now, now the problem that arises from that is, what if this phone got destroyed? You'd have to go through like a lengthy process to get those codes or to like send it to another phone.
Yep.
Now, let me see if let me get this right. Yeah, I say the annoying flaw, your one-time codes were stored only on your phone, which could cause a tremendous number of problems if you didn't have backup codes. Now, you could transfer the codes to a new device, but you have to have the old one to do that. Now the codes are stored on the cloud, which means you'll have access to them on any phone just as long as you log into your account.
How do you log into your account? I just looked through the app and I couldn't figure it out.
Did you just download the app?
No,
What?
I've had Google Authenticator for like 7 years now.
And you just have had it there and you don't know how to use it? I'm confused.
No, I don't know how to sign into the. Isn't the Google account separate than Google Authenticator? Because I've never signed into my Google account on Google Authenticator.
I don't know. I don't know.
We just have absolutely no idea.
Let's go to the next story real quick. And we're back. And we're going to talk about our last small story for the day. What the heck were you saying, Nick?
Hi, I'm here.
All right. So, our story here is Google's parent company, Alphabet. This is an old story, but I'm still going to bring it up because I thought it was funny. So Samsung reportedly was considering replacing Google with Bing in its phones, and then Alphabet lost $55 billion in market share, like in market value.
What?
Yeah. Just the market value just went immediately down the moment that Samsung said that. Which is just hilarious. What? This is just funny.
All these big companies are just a giant thing of like a tower of cards, and they're just praying that no one knocks over one card.
It's like,
that's all it takes.
Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Don't use Bing. We're gonna lose our company.
Oh gosh, the peeking.
I'm just telling you. Bing is scary. You know, it's got the Bing AI now. It's just going to be the end of us all, including Google. So
The
we have
Bing
to stop
AI
it at all
is
costs.
the Bing AI is honestly like the most capable AI I've ever seen, and it's a random tangent, but the Bing AI is absolutely terrifying, especially now that it is able to draw pictures, and it's free.
I know, it was very interesting when Nick found
It's
that out.
yeah, it was definitely interesting. I drew mice in a bus.
Mice on a bus, definitely.
Yep, mice on
Now,
a bus.
we are gonna bring on our guest by surprise here. We're not gonna be talking about gaming news, but we're still gonna bring him on. Enter Doctor You What with the wrong profile
Yo,
image. I still have to
let's
fix
go.
this.
Wrong profile image alert.
Here, I don't know. Here, let me see. Can I?
We're doing some live editing on
I
stream. Oh no.
oh shoot. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god.
Okay,
Uh,
abort, abort, abort.
abort. Oh, oh god. No. I just hit all the buttons on my keyboard.
I love the frame of the gaming news.
Well, you're gonna have to deal with the old profile image for right now.
Ah, okay.
But so I recently updated Discord, right? And I got
All the
this
channels are just Among Us.
and I got this message. Heads up, usernames are evolving. So instead of having like your name and then a hashtag with 4 numbers, right?
Mhm.
It is going to use an @ system, just like every other social media. At least as far as I know.
I
Because
imagine
And-
it was too simple. It was too simple and convenient. You know, it was too good. We have to end it.
Why? Why? This is so stupid. I hate this. This is literally such a dumb decision. Like,
I honestly like it
I don't
for
because
the
like
wrong reasons.
because the thing is like one thing about Discord and that hashtag system is that like it kind of brings a little bit of anonymity, so like random spam people don't add you when you don't want to be added.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you just have
You
a
can hashtag
random
hidden.
@ you know, people are just gonna be able to type in your @ and find you.
Yep.
I don't want that. I'm doing spooky things on the internet. I don't want to get seen.
What if I just want to be
Just-
a ghost?
Just
Like,
do what
come
I
on.
do and have 3 different Discord accounts.
Maybe.
That's normal, right?
I'll have to consider
Discord.
it if this
Discord is
happens.
not a regular social media platform.
No, it really isn't.
And
But
I
the
like
reason
I
why
like my
I-
number. Okay, I like it.
Okay, then what is it?
Oh no.
Gaming news. Gaming news.
Gaming.
The stream is falling apart steadily as you watch.
You're breaking the walls. It's not going well.
But yeah, this is really dumb and stupid, and I hate this because it's like I don't like where Discord is going, but like there really isn't an alternative that everybody is
Yet.
on. Like there are people who like there are alternatives. There's like, you know, there's Revolt, which is a really good like open source like sort of like alternative that I like quite a bunch, but like when Discord wasn't big, it was hard to get people on it. It was hard to get me to actually like take an effort and install this app.
It took a while for me to convince you. It took a while.
And it's
could
just like-
imagine.
But it's just like now, like imagine getting not tech savvy people to get on Discord. Like that was annoying. Like I don't want to do that with another weird app that no one uses.
Plus, let's hope you can actually get your username because it's based off of when you joined.
Yeah.
Originally created your account.
Wait,
'Cause, like-
so you have to go in processional order if you. Ugh.
Yeah,
which is
it's
like,
you.
which is like
It's
if,
real.
like,
That's
say
gonna be
if
like
I had
horrible for impersonation. Like,
Zach might be able to get the username. We might be able to get Nasina8.
holy shit, Messina 8.
Oh no.
Right now, I only know of one other Doctor You What in the existence of everywhere, and I just hope I have a day, like I'm the day of before at the very minimum, because I don't have any other usernames. This is my username,
Like
okay?
my
Like, this is
username
what I got.
my username on all of my social medias is Kate Dash Music. If I could get just Kate Dash or Kate Dash Music, I'll be happy. But like, I'm a little nervous. I don't want it to get like taken
I'm
from
sure
me.
you. I'm sure you can get Kate Dash music.
I
That's
hope
very
so.
unique.
This is going to be like really bad, especially for YouTubers who I know rely on Discord servers and stuff.
Yeah,
They're going to need it for
because like
impersonation type
then there's
things,
gonna be someone else who just like takes the ad.
Like,
I
especially if
surely
you're a
hope.
big creator. Yeah.
Yeah, I surely hope if you have because when you get really big in Discord, you can have a public Discord server that's
Yeah.
run by Discord so
Mm-hmm.
that it's they have all the management stuff and anyone can publicly join it.
Mm-hmm.
I surely hope that if you're big enough to have that type of Discord server, they can let you have your own @ for like that follows Twitter or something like that.
Yeah,
But then you
definitely.
get into the BS of like, how do you verify your Discord username? And can someone like apply for your username when they aren't you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just,
I'm sure they could
ugh.
directly contact that individual.
Well, how? Through Discord?
No, in order to have a public Discord, you have to have your real name attached to it.
Like Nick is talking about really, really big YouTubers. Like
Yeah, I'm talking about anyone that's over like 250, 300K. They can
yeah.
have their own public Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I guess, but
Like, and
my
I
points
don't.
still stand. Like, I'm not gonna consider Discord. They're like gonna go, hey, into your Twitter DMs and be like, hey, is this you? Like, I still see a lot of issues with just getting to this point. But
I don't
when
know.
does it
Like
say
this
this is
is.
happening?
I don't know. They're just like all the other Discord like things. They're just gonna do it whenever they feel like it.
it's probably already in progress. It's just
Yeah.
they're starting with the people that joined in 2014, and they're probably giving them like a couple weeks to change their name or something.
So what, are we gonna see the full implementation in like 2 years? Because how many accounts
Wait
are
a
there on
minute.
this site or whatever?
Well, they're probably doing it by like month or something. So anyone that was created in like the same month is gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be like, they're
Actually,
gonna
hold
get
on.
done till like what, 2033 or what? Just for how long? Just they do it per month?
Yeah.
Like, that's just gonna take so damn long.
Yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Maybe they'll just be
I'm
like, "Oh,
gonna.
good luck, people that joined in 2017, the giant swarm of you that joined." Because that's when Discord just blew up, and then you have the
Mhm.
2020 group of when COVID hit, and then all the
I'm glad
schools
I'm
were
ahead of
forced
the
to use it.
2020 group at least. Like, I
Yeah,
think I'm like 2018 esque, like around there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
And that's
late
only because
2018.
of a certain Nisina was bugging me about it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm the 2017 group, so we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes.
I'm a residual of that because I joined early 2018.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, of course, when any
I know
company.
how to feel about it. I don't like it. Destroy change. Keep the status quo.
it just always feels like when whenever you have a big company like this and they want to just keep adding things on over and over because they feel like they're pressured to continuously innovate, when in reality if they would have just, I mean, pre like 2020 Discord was
Is
honestly,
Discord public, actually? Now that I think
I
about
don't
it?
think they are. I think they're still
I
privately
believe it,
owned. Because I
Didn't they get
remember
bought
this. I
out
remember this
by
being a
someone?
story, and they didn't go through with it, as far as I
Oh.
remember.
Oh. Hidden Part 2 for whoever remembers what episode that was. Hidden Part 2. Um, but like, yeah, if they're not a public company, they have no pressure to really keep innovating or keep pushing forward as they seem to want to do. Like, activities was
purely for
stupid.
monetary. It's purely for
Mhm.
monetary purposes. Why do they have two different types of Nitro subscription? It used to
There's
just be
two?
one. Yeah, there's two
Yeah.
tiers of Nitro subscription now.
Like there used
What
to
the
be like,
fuck?
and even when they first did that, there used to be Nitro Classic and then just like new Nitro, right? And Nitro Classic used to be like an option that actually made sense, right?
It was a lot cheaper.
And then they gutted out Nitro Classic to make Nitro cheaper, but then they just got rid of all the stuff that you really cared about, like the file limit.
What?
You know what I mean?
Nitro is $100 a year?
Yes.
Fuck that.
It's dumb.
What the fuck?
I mean, I may or may not have Nitro, but I'm not going to make any comments
Excuse the
about
language, but what? I would pay max $20 a year for something like that. It's the same issue
Yeah.
with Twitter damn blue or whatever it
like,
is.
For me, I use it as a really easy way of sending big files to people because I'm in a lot of music communities and I work with musicians a lot. But like, I am a very low use case scenario. Most people on Discord should not have Nitro.
Like,
yeah,
And like
I
for
get
me,
it's
I
for
just
money, but-
personally like the extra creature comforts, but that's just me.
definitely
I
has an
see.
expensive. Yeah, it's expensive to run along with it, but
Mhm.
Like, the thing is that the only reason why I would see someone getting Nitro reasonably is for the separate profile pictures on servers. Like,
that is something I use all the time.
That is like something that should be standard.
It should
Like,
be a
it really
standard
should
feature.
be. Yeah, it really should be.
Mm-hmm.
But no, money, greed, capitalism. This is all why we should go into a more equal society. You know,
Oh,
I'm going to
God.
stop the political
Oh,
speech
no.
here. I know where this is
Instead, while
going.
this is happening, I'll just like put a giant like Discord logo on the screen. It's just so we can stare at every remark you're making and then ban you from Discord a month later.
It's like Discord just posts your IP address once you get too critical. Like, oh no.
Yeah, you just be like, Discord sucks, Nitro is too much, and then just outside your house, you just hear.
Oh.
You know what? I do not like this mild inconvenience. 256-192-321517.
Just getting doxxed.
I'm purposely saying a wrong IP address because I could accidentally dox someone. Let's go.
I mean, yeah, you're correct, but just for science's sake, my IP address is 123. We're cutting the intermission short. I have just been notified that we actually have gaming news, and you know what that means. I get to play the funny video again. Let's go.
Okay.
Worth it.
I'm looking for a fast article for what I want to talk about.
Okay, we'll have one
you
article.
pull it up while I'm talking about it. Summer Games Fest in coordination with our E3 is dead last time.
Okay, I'm
Like,
typing Summer Games Fest. There's an IGN article that says Summer Games Fest tickets are now available.
close enough.
Sure. All right, there we go. There's a funny little article that we get to look at.
Yo, Summer Games Fest. And guess where all the companies that left AE3 are this year?
No way.
Yo,
Wow.
part 2.
It's almost as if the cheaper alternative for the company actually succeeded, like I said it would.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I got this image of the 2023 partners. Don't know how that, if you can find that, but we've got Activision, Amazon Games, guys. Amazon Games.
Yo.
Yo. We've got Capcom. We've got PlayStation, Xbox. Even Sega's here for once. Don't know what they're going to be talking about, but they're here. Maybe the rumored, maybe the rumored 2D Sonic game that people have been talking about.
Holy shit, guys!
Paradox
It's Sonic 5.
Paradox Interactive for another $20 expansion of, Hearts of Iron 4 again. That's like adds like one new country. Let's go.
One new country, they revise another, and then they make them OP, and then everyone plays it, and
then it gets nerfed the next update, and then they add 15 new political systems that don't make sense and are not aligned with the other countries. Normal stuff.
Yep.
That makes
even
sense.
Steam apparently has its own thing going on here. Like, apparently Netflix is one of the partners this year. Don't know how that's
We
going
talked about Netflix an hour ago. You're already too late for that.
I didn't see
When
that
is Summer
part,
Game
okay?
Fest?
It's I think June, July.
So is this going to be in the middle of the
says
Steam
June 8.
summer sale?
I believe so, yeah, which might explain the Steam presence. Hey, you're the one with the IGN article up. Look up the day.
Oh, yeah,
it's
you're
right.
right.
There,
Hold
probably.
on. I said it was June 8th. It was June 8th.
June 8th. Okay.
Okay. That's like right around when Steam has their summer sale, so that would make sense.
Man, I can't wait for the official Netflix video game from the scene.
Yeah.
I mean, they already put like Minecraft story mode on Netflix. I know that happened. Like you can play it with the remote. It's real.
That's hold the freaking phone. That's a thing?
I can't believe Netflix is real, guys.
What?
Anyway, I didn't hear your question. Someone barged in my room. Okay, we got Ubisoft, Warner Bros. Are here. Samsung Gaming Hub.
Yo.
We've got Disney, EA. Speaking of EA, Formula 1 2023 stuff has been announced recently.
Okay, because isn't that coming out soon?
Yeah, pre-orders are... I think it releases in June this year.
Are the pre-orders cheaper than like the regular game? Or are they the same price?
The pre-orders?
Yeah.
I think they're like they just charge full price, and they're like, "Hey, order it early and like get like 5,000 Bitcoin."
Bitcoin?
Oh.
Yes,
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, huh?
Yes, Bitcoin. I know.
I love
it's
currency.
so hard to believe.
You have to mine it.
No, you just get it. You get 5,000 if you pre-order the standard edition, but if you pre-order the Champions edition, you get 18,000.
Whoa!
Quick, Nick, make your
Also-
YouTube thumbnail face. This is gonna be the thumbnail. Hold on, guys. You gotta make the face. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Wait. There's the thumbnail.
Oh god.
We got. Oh, don't worry. You don't just get 18,000 Bitcoin for pre-ordering the Champions Edition. We got the chart. We've got the pre-ordering chart. Let's go.
Oh god.
Okay, you don't just get 18,000 Bitcoin. You get an XP boost. You get You get 3 days early access. You get the Verstappen racewear pack, and you get Las Vegas content. Guys, it's so worth it for the extra $20. Let's go.
We're gonna be paying $80 for this thing.
No, the standard games, the Champions Edition is it's 90, and the standard is 70. Like, bruh, what the?
What?
But hey, we get the Las Vegas and the Qatar racetrack, guys. It's all worth it.
It'll be fine.
And apparently, red flags weren't in this game series until just now.
Wait,
so that's a
what?
thing.
That was not
Yeah.
a thing?
Red flags weren't or have not been in this series since 2014.
Why'd they take it out?
I don't know. Well, how did it take 8 years to put it back in? Like, let's think about it that way.
I just
Oh,
want, just
jeez.
come on, just give me the IndyCar game. That's all I need. Give me
Yeah.
the IndyCar game. That's cool.
It won't be
there's
$70.
also- There's also the story mode part 2. Like, we skipped, we had part 1 in
F1 story
2021.
mode? Is it the same
Yeah,
as
Breaking
Minecraft
Point.
story mode?
No, it's not the
Ooh.
Choose Your Own Adventure by Telltale Games. Actually, that'd be a kind of funny concept. F1 Telltale Games. Let's go.
Oh no.
Nasina,
The
you
Wither
need to get
Storm is gonna
Nasina, you
kill
need to
you.
get in this. It's going to be a DLC mission
Hear
to
me
Sonic
out.
Schoolhouse 2. It's going to be
Hear me out.
F1 Choose Your
Messina-
Own Adventure.
Messina makes a Telltale game. I want to see that happen.
Oh no.
I want to see that. But we have Breaking Point 2. By the way, the first Breaking Point was an F1 21, not 22. But we skipped a year, and then you get the continuation of the story. Let's go.
Nice.
Also, there's something called F1 World. Have no clue what that is.
As opposed to F1 not in the world. Gotcha.
As
F1
opposed to
universe. The F1
F1
multiverse.
Life. F1 Life was the previous game system where you could like you know how like there's the podium pass and you get XP during a season for that
Yeah.
in F1 21. Yeah, in F1 22 you didn't get cool liveries, you got couches for your virtual living space. That was a thing.
What the hell is this game?
Sort of F1 game. We've got ray tracing graphics. We've got controller support. Like better. Behind the wheel to improve performance. You know, even
And to Heckin Tech Night. So now we're gonna go to our main story, one of them, and it's gonna be Nick's main story. Oh
What?
no, Doctor, you was sent the angry face. What could we
Angry.
have done?
What could have happened? Oh no.
He'll definitely never be on the show again, ever. Until next episode. But the next story we have here is science stuff.
Ah, yes.
I have no idea what's
Science.
happening.
There's probably exactly 0 people in chat that are going to fully understand what I'm going to say. So I'm going to make it really fast. I already said it. We're good. That's quantum for you. That's the way quantum works. I already said it, but
I've had way too many intermission cuts. I need to stop doing this.
But essentially what they did is the qubits, they linked 2 quantum cubics, which basically is known as quantum entanglement, which they wanted to prove that these 2 qubits are able to communicate with each other faster than the speed of light. So what they did was they set up this measuring device using a 30-meter long tube, cryogenically cooled to basically 0 Kelvin, and then measured the rotational patterns of the qubits based on the speed of light, and determined that we are indeed breaking the speed of light barrier.
Dang.
We can now communicate with anywhere in the universe. Once this is finalized and we figure out the actual logic behind it, we communicate with anywhere in the universe instantaneously.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty high tech. It's pretty tech related. That is one Heckin Tech story.
It is. It's involving superconductors and qubits and quantum computers and all sorts of crazy stuff, but
you know what's going to change the So you know what's gonna change the fabric of reality and the universe as we know it more than these qubits?
McDonald's.
The new Sony Xperia 1 Mark V.
It's a slightly different direction than I was thinking, but I'll roll with it.
Here's our final story for the day. Sony released their newest version of this freaking thing, which I love, and I love so much. I have the Sony Xperia 1 Mark III. The name's easy, guys. And this is Mark V. And it's really cool. I'm really excited. Just to show, it still has the 4K 120 FPS screen, the same like sort of screen it's been having. It comes default with 256 gigabytes, which is different from the Mark IV, which you could only get 512 with, which brings the base price of this one down $200 from the Mark IV. But the only feature that you're really losing, because like usually like when flagship phones they downsize the price, you usually lose a feature. The only feature that you're losing is, and get ready for this, this is rather sad, you no longer have the notification LED. I'm gonna cry. It's so sad.
People use that? What?
But with the Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV, right? They like the telephoto camera that was introduced in like the Mark III. They've been like kind of refining that idea, and you can actually optically zoom with that telephoto camera now, and you can still do that. You can do 4K 120 FPS recording on all cameras. And here's one of the biggest things about this is Sony has an all new sensor that they're debuting with this for all of their lenses. So they just have a new like just Exmor like sensor that they're rolling out with this phone. And
interesting.
I'm excited.
It's a dual layer sensor.
Because like Sony already makes a majority of like the image sensors on like almost all phones.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like this is really cool because it's like I like how Sony's like just like Like, we're just gonna drop this in here for our phone first before we hand this out.
Yeah.
And like, looking at the specifications here, I want to look at
Well,
all
one of the
these.
things I noticed is they said that it's a dual layered sensor,
Hmm.
which in theory would allow you to prevent overexposure in certain parts of the screen, in certain parts of the image, and then underexposure in other parts. You could sort of
Hmm.
equalize them out a little bit better. Of course, you have to do a lot of software and
Yeah,
hardware trickery with that type of stuff, but
the
I don't see
battery
why that wouldn't be possible.
the battery is going to be the same size of 5,000 milliamps, milliamp hours, and it uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 just platform. Gen 1, like basically in all the phones that were out last year, it was just kind of like a very hot mess, kind of literally. Like those phones would overheat like crazy, and the Sony Xperia 1 Mark phone, that was like the biggest thing. Like it ran hot all the time. But I'm hearing things are better, and I'm excited. Um, looking at all the I'm hoping that like also this is the best phone that's out that still has a headphone jack. Didn't get rid of it.
And they
I
have a pretty good headphone jack at that.
Yeah, if it's the same as the Xperia 1 Mark III, I will say the DAC on it's pretty good. The amp is a little bit on the quiet side, but like at least it sounds good.
Yep.
um that's 5G in it, blah blah blah. One thing I am sad about though, they got rid of the purple color option, which I liked so much on
Oh,
mine, so they don't have the purple anymore. So
yeah,
that
that
kind of
sucks.
sucks. They still have the same water resistance, the same dust proof thing. I think they got rid of in the Mark IV the little Google Assistant button, which is fine by me. Um, and they still have a hardware fingerprint scanner. Um, and here's the main thing with the main sensor. That's a big thing here. Is that the main sensor is Sony's first phone with kind of like a pixel bending sensor, where they have the 48 megapixel like sensor, and then they like make those go down to like 12 megapixel images. So not only do they have the super good
Okay.
optics that they've always had, but they're now doing that other trick that other phones have been doing along with that, which I'm excited about.
That might be beyond visual acuity for the telephoto lens finally.
Mm-hmm. Like
Because
I will say,
that's
this telephoto lens is great, but like I don't know if I think it's only the main sensor that has the 48. I think, but still exciting nonetheless. I don't know. I've always been super excited for this phone line. I think it's really cool. Still got the 4K screen. Uh,
there's something to where they're adding a diamonds like plate to the back of the to the glass.
the glass kind of has like a different. I just clicked the same article twice. The back kind of has like a certain texture to it, because like it has like the ridged size that the Xperia like Pro I had for like better gripability, but instead of kind of having like the matte sort of like glass back in a way, it's got like kind of like a ridge pattern to it, which like it just makes it grippier, which is actually
Yeah.
really cool.
From my understanding, it's actually still glass though.
It is still glass.
So it's like a textured glass. There's no way that's cheap too. So
No,
that's
yeah. You can
it's
also
specially
still
designed.
you can also still use this as an external monitor, even without the HDMI port that was on the Xperia Pro. Um, and yeah, it's really exciting. I can't wait for this to come out, and maybe one day it'll become my phone. Either that or the Mark 6 will. Because
Yeah,
you
you
know
definitely
me,
like the
I'm definitely with that Sony realm, especially ever since LG decided to dip on me.
well, you really like the Xperias, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So
because like the thing is too is, yes, like a few days ago, with my family, I went down to the Indianapolis like IndyCar race they were having, And like there are some of like the videos and like pictures I was getting, and I'm just like, there is like I would have little hope of getting these shots on different phones. Like at least the way that like the Sony looks, I'm just like I'm still impressed by this camera 2 years like later after its release. And I'm just like, especially when you're on the go, just especially having that telephoto and all that, it's impressive what you can get out of these things. And just the fact that like they're not killing features that are crazy, you know what I mean? They still got the headphone jack. Like it's kind of the only option for me
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
because I like all my weird, stuff. But yeah, we got through all of our stories in like a timely manner. I know it's crazy. Uh, we didn't get sidetracked too hard, so we're actually out of stories. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we end our amazing Heckin Tech Night?
This one was pretty chaotic, but we got through some stories. We had some interesting little chats about random stuff. So yeah, hopefully it won't be too long until
Oh God, do we have an
get our next
invader
one.
in our Discord chat who just joined?
You know, if you're struggling on articles to think about, I can tell you more about it.
No.
No, no.
All
No,
right,
no.
that's the end of
We're
Heckin
gonna-
Tech Night.
we
Thank you
need
for
to end
watching.
now.
I'm
Bye.
Sky. This
Bye.
is Nick on
We've
that
also
side.
crossplay,
Oh God.
you know.
Oh, I pointed the wrong
Let's
direction this
get
way.
together.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Bye.